guys, what is up? Max in our first Descendant video, and today we've got a massive buff patch to a ton of different Descendants. Before we dive into the video, you might notice something's a bit different. I'm currently away for my 1 year wedding anniversary, so I'm not at my setup. I'm just recording with a laptop microphone, so this video is going to be incredibly scuffed, but there's some really cool changes that I wanted to talk about, so we're going to break them down. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's dive right in. So starting with the director's comment, this balance improvement focuses on reviewing the way Descendant skills apply movement speed changes, adjusting the value of some of the less used Descendants, and easing the gap between firearm Descendants and Serena. As mentioned during yesterday's Descendant FanFest, we'll continue to address balance gaps between Descendants through monthly balance patches in Season 3. As a first step, we'll be making improvements to Jaber's skills on August 7th. Incredible. We're also reviewing the combat efficiency of skill Descendants in higher difficulty content like Axion Plains, and are currently tuning balancing with Inez as the benchmark. The dev team is aware of the current disparity between firearm Descendants and skill Descendants. We aim to reduce this gap using Serena as the reference point for firearm Descendants and Inez for skill Descendants. I still think using Serena as a benchmark is insane, but let's see how they cook. So we'll continue to take gradual steps to bridge the gap between skill and firearm Descendants through our ongoing monthly updates. So Valby's getting plop, boosted skill power. That looks pretty decent. This is already a very strong skill. So that is a decent buff. It's not anything too huge. Cleanup is going from 277 to 366. That's better buff. But the bigger thing here is that movement speed application is now what is going from being fixed at 1,000 to movement and speed increases by 300 plus a 20% increase. Basically, they're making it so you can modify Valby's movement speed. Tidal wave module movement speed is also getting changed. Supply moisture, they're trying to buff up firearm Descendants that aren't Serena. So your firearm attack from supply moisture is going from 10% to 35%, and you're getting 35% added explosive attack. Just gonna let you know that that will not keep up with Serena, but that is a decent buff. Still, Valby is not going to be anywhere near Serena level. Then we get Blair. His extinguish flame retrieval zone is going from 2 seconds to 1 second. Nice quality of life. And his burn taste, they're reducing the movement speed penalty that you get while casting. So Blair's going to feel a lot better. So you're going from minus 100 movement speed to minus 20% movement speed. With Backdraft is also getting 20% added firearm explosive attack and also reduced skill cost. Movement reduction. Same with Deadly Cuisine. Deadly Cuisine is getting a nice skill power buff, going from 12,000 to 17,000. The big thing here is the projectile speed increased by 100%. Obviously, more damage is great, but that skill was tough to land, especially on Colossuses that were moving or anything that was moving around. The projectile speed by 100 is pretty nice. Then we get to Sharon. Sharon's getting cutoff beams damage boosted. Decent buff there. More movement speed while in camouflage. This is the big one for her. Shock Nuts is going from 288 to 949. That should be hitting like a truck. And also more movement speed in ambushed and overcharged. And then lastly, area suppression per short sword is going from 184 to 252. I think that's probably going to feel pretty solid. Then we get to Enzo. He's getting a brand new effect, Grant Quick Load upon supplying bullets, which increases your reload speed by 60%. That is very, very nice. Should make him feel way better with some certain guns that reload often. Explosive Drones getting a beefy, almost 1,000% damage increase or additional damage. Perfect Support is giving you more ammo while you're in the field and intercept battles. Explosive Drone is also getting a 1,000 additional skill power. That's going to be nice. This is what I'm really interested in, though. They're changing his kit so that he's going to get increased skill power by 3.8% of max shield. So that if you have 10,000 max shield, you're going to get 380 increased skill power, and you also get skill power modifier based off of your max shield. And you get firearm crit rate of your max shield. Shield Enzo is probably the most interesting thing of all of these buffs to me so far that we've read. But that is going to be really interesting, getting a ton of different skill power and crit rate. And I feel like stacking shields is more fun right now because just everything goes health. Haley, Cryo Rounds is going from a 50% additional damage to 200% additional damage. That is insane. That is a very good buff. Zenith is going from firearm attack, giving you 50% to 200%. Super cooled Kuiper rounds are going from 250% firearm attack to 150%. Cryogenic cluster shot is going from 25% additional damage to 100, and the explosion damage is going from 178 to 257. All of that sounds really good. So big buffs to like gun Haley, not so much like ability based Haley. Obviously, cryogenic cluster shot is like ability based, but more so on the gun side. Technically, like obviously Zenith is still like doing big skill damage, but more like gun buffs for her. Bunny, we already knew about this. They're basically just making it so that she can go faster. They're increasing the movement speed cap from 1,300 to 1,600. So Bunny should, be one of the few descendants that can hit like 1,600 relatively easily. So she's going to be regaining her spot as like the fastest or one of the fastest descendants. With Glay, this is crazy. We're going firearm attack from 15% while frenzied to 30%, and firearm explosive attack to 15% to 50% more explosive attack while frenzied. And for increased sensory when frenzied, they're removing the movement speed decrease, which is awesome. And then also giving her more firearm crit damage and more weak point damage. Predatory Instinct, which I think is a garbage mod, is actually becoming good. It's going from basically at max 21% buff to 42% for firearms, and then explosives are getting from 21% to 70%. So this should be looking pretty nice for like, a rocket Glay build, especially with the new rocket coming in Season 3. She's also, with super senses when frenzied, you're going for a 50% movement speed decrease to 30%, and you're getting a bunch of additional firearm and crit damage. We also got the Void Erosion Purge changes today, so basically they just condensed it, so now instead of stage 30, or 30 stages, there's going to be 10 stages, and this little graphic shows that like stage 9 is basically encompassing 27, 28, 29, stage 30 is still stage 10, and then like stage 1 is like 1 through 5 type deal, and so that is cool. Basically, I think this is more geared towards people that haven't done the Void Erosion Purge grind. It's less tedious and less time consuming to get through all of that, so that they can reach the max difficulty a little bit quicker. They're also like changing some of the rewards around to make it a bit more rewarding. For weapon cores, they are now available as rewards for defeating monsters and completing missions in Infiltration Operation 400% and Sigma Sector on normal and high-risk difficulties. So, for example, if you're doing Sigma Sector normal, you can find tiers 1 through 3. Sigma Sector high risk, you can find 3 through 5. Infiltration Operation hard, we'll find tiers 2 through 4. So, they're still making it so that if you want to land 10s, stage 10 is basically your only option, but it's going to let people that maybe aren't able to clear that stage yet or build up some resources so that they can combine them to make some higher tiers. I think that's a perfectly good change. Descendants, they adjusted the upper limit of some movement speeds, so 1,600 is now the new sprint speed, which is nice. And the upper and lower limits have been set for some movement speed penalties, so it seems like they're going to make it so that there's only so slow that you can become. For party, they renamed the research material category to required items and changed the order of category placement. It's just some UI changes. And added some new tags. And then they added a whole bunch of shop items, and the new first anniversary event is going on, and they also dropped the pool in-game. I unfortunately don't have any footage to show you. At least, I don't think I can. Maybe there will be footage showing. But yeah, guys, that is going to do it for the patch notes. Everything looks pretty good. I don't think the Valby gun damage stuff's going to do too much. And I'm not sure if these are quite enough buffs for Blair. Blair is up there. He's good, but he's not quite up there with Freyna, Inez, and Bunny. And so I was kind of hoping for a little bit more buffs towards him and his mobbing capabilities. Doesn't look like that is the patch for this. He is going to be dealing more gun damage, which is solid. Sharon also got some decent buffs, but like the two winners, in my opinion, or I guess three winners here, are definitely Glay, Haley, and Enzo. All of them got pretty solid buffs. And those are more so the characters that really needed it. So you guys, hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoy the patch. I'm probably not gonna be able to get many build videos out until I get home, which will be on Sunday. So stay tuned for a bunch of updated build guides. I appreciate y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.